Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into the PHNX Sports Podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. What's up? It's your girl. It's Makayla Perkins, and it's Shawn DePaz.
What's poppin'?
How's it going, Shawn?
Feeling good.
Yeah?
This terrible year's almost over.
Oh, my God.
Got
It's been a rough one.
Yeah, it's hasn't been ideal if you're a fan of Arizona sports teams. So hopefully 2023 can be a little better.
A little bit better.
Marginally better.
We are going to be going through our New Year's resolutions for our Arizona sports teams in 2023. But this show is going to be a positive one. You know, we've all been in the trenches together, battling through this horrible year. But it's okay. We made it through. And 2023 is going to be a great year. I'm manifesting it. I'm not letting any negative energy affect how I feel.
It can't get much worse, right?
What?
It can't get much worse, right?
I mean,
sports-wise, it can't get much worse.
I think we might have hit rock bottom
Right.
in a lot of different ways. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse. But it's going to be great. But before we get into that, Shawn, how's your holiday week? Do you celebrate Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas?
I was here for Christmas. If you haven't seen what's been going on the East Coast, wouldn't have been able to travel home for Christmas even if I wanted to. So I was here, me and my cat, did a little work, produced the Cardinals show. But it was good. It was relaxing. I sat in my house all day and just vibed. May or may not have, dabbled in the OGs. We could talk about that later, but it was a pretty good Christmas. How was yours?
Good. It was good. I got to go home. I did brave the crazy travel scene and tried to navigate my way to Colorado. I made it, thankfully. I did not fly Southwest. I flew Frontier, which everyone makes fun of me for. But Frontier came through. Freaking Frontier Airlines was one of the only ones that made it out of DIA that week. So, you know what? I'm going to keep flying my budget airline, and the rest of you can enjoy your canceled flights on Southwest.
If
okay?
it works, it works.
But it is a good thing you didn't go back to the East Coast because it was a mess up there.
Yeah.
Buffalo is like under 8 feet of snow right now. Yeah. So it's a good thing you stayed here. But the one thing about Arizona that I love more than anything else is that we don't have to worry about snow here because it's Arizona and it's beautiful. And it's going to be beautiful in January when we head out to the Dobson Ranch driving range for our PHNX tea party. We are super stoked for this event. We're going to be renting out the entire driving range. We're also going to be watching the Suns take on the Timberwolves on Friday, January 13th at 5:30 p.m. There's going to be mini games, food and drink, merch, contests, prizes, a kids clinic for kids under 10. It's going to be so much fun, you guys. There's literally so many reasons to come out. You can get your tickets by clicking the link in our description, or by going to our events website, our events tab on our website. And while you're there, make sure that you check out some Bad Birdie gear if you need to gear up for this event. Shawn, I know you love Bad Birdie. I see you wearing it all the time.
I already got my outfit picked out for the tea party.
There you go. So if you need a new outfit for our Dobson Ranch golf event, you can head over to badbirdie.com, badbirdiegolf.com. Use promo code PHNX_sports 15 for 15% off your entire Bad Birdie order. I'm super stoked for this, Shawn. Are you?
Yeah, I can't wait. First off, if you're gonna be bad at something, which I am at golf, at least look good doing it. So you could, if all the stuff that Mac laid out wasn't enticing enough, you get to watch me embarrass myself. So that should be lucrative. But listen, I'm embarrassed myself swinging a golf club. I'm not gonna be embarrassing myself with my fit.
Yeah, especially with your new hair. You gotta that's got to come.
That's the problem I have now though is do I I'm gonna have to hide the hair to rock the Bad Birdie hat.
That's a dilemma.
It is a little bit of a dilemma, but the Bad Birdie has, I think, as good as the hair looks, the Bad Birdie has going to look a little better. So I'm probably going to go that way.
There you go. If you want to look good and then also watch Shawn be bad at golf, make sure you get your tickets to our event and swag yourself out with some Bad Birdie merch. All right. Well, it's been a minute since I've been on the show. I missed hosting. I feel like I know.
I feel like I haven't seen you in like a month.
I know. It's been forever. I've been hibernating. I know it doesn't snow in Arizona, but it's freezing outside right now, which is why I'm wearing my sweatshirt. Because
it's 57 degrees. What are you talking about freezing? It is freezing. Perfect weather. I was talking to Max about this. I love this. You can see the fog rolling in over the mountains. This is perfect weather. Like I said, though, if I lived in the PNW and it was like this every day, I probably wouldn't like it as much, but I'll take this.
Well, it's a little too cold for me, which is why I'm wearing my sweatshirt. I've been bundled up and hibernating, and a lot has happened while I haven't been here. So let's recap some things really quick and just get up to speed. Obviously, we had to start off with the freaking Coyotes because they pooped on the Maple Leafs last night.
WAGGIN wagon. They're a wagon.
Electric.
And they own Toronto.
I love to see it. I literally hate all Canadian hockey teams. And watching the Coyotes beat any Canadian hockey team makes me so happy. And Shawn, you were there. You have to tell me what it was like being at that game.
It was amazing. It was I would say a pretty split crowd. It was probably 50-50 Coyotes Maple Leafs, but the Coyotes fans, they did not let themselves get out cheered, out yelled. Like the Coyotes fans were present. And I mean, that game started hot. Bukestad scored a goal real early in the game, and from at that point on, you could tell it was going to be the O tonight yet again. It was an awesome experience. Michael Phelps was in the building. Vince Vaughn was in the building. It was really cool. Hockey in Arizona, electric.
I'm so jealous you were there. I absolutely relish in the tears of Canadian hockey fans.
It is my favorite beverage.
And more incentive for Austin Matthews to come play for the Coyotes one day.
And more incentive for Jacob Chikrin to get shipped to Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
There you go.
Just saying.
I wouldn't hate to see that.
I wouldn't hate it either.
So obviously that was great. Something that is bittersweet. Obviously, JJ Watt announced his retirement. Kind of surprisingly, I was caught off guard by his announcement.
Too. Yeah, I figured he would want to win before he left, and he obviously hasn't done that here.
Yeah.
But good for him. He's accomplished a lot, and he seems very happy. He's got his kid now, so.
Yeah, I mean, JJ Watt really doesn't seem the type to me to have, like, the ego of, like, a Tom Brady type where, like, I have to win before I retire, like, have to go out on a high. No, like, JJ Watt is very humble, in my opinion, so sure. I can see that side of it not mattering as much to him. And when he was talking during his press conference, you know, he's very realistic about the situation. He's like, I've been injured a lot. I had that heart scare. I have a brand new newborn here. Like, there's so much going on for him outside of football that, you know, he obviously is an incredible human being. He won the Walter Payton Manning Man of the Year award. Yeah. He's accomplished so much on the field. He's obviously one of the best to ever do it at his position. There's no questioning, like, first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. Yeah. So he has accomplished so much, even though he doesn't have a Super Bowl title under his belt. But I don't think that really matters to JJ. Yeah. I think him being a good dad is now his most important priority, and I think he gets to do that now. So
yeah, for sure. No, he's a good person. So if he's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to JJ on his retirement. Another thing that happened is the Suns have a new owner. Matt Ishbia is the new owner of the Suns, one of the youngest owners in sports history, but especially in the NBA. He is very young. Yep. And I think this is great. I'm really excited about this, Shawn. I think that they needed to move on as quickly as possible to get the stain of Robert Sarver off of that organization. And obviously, Matt Ishbia has done a lot to prove that he is a good businessman, which is, I think, the Suns really needed. And also, he shows that he's already caring about the community. He made a $100,000 donation to one of the Suns charities so that they can send underprivileged kids to go to their first NBA game, which I think is so great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I'm really excited about this new owner.
Yeah, so am I. And he was a college athlete, so it's not like he's just some rich guy who's just doing this as a passion project type thing. Like, he also loves basketball. And he loves sports, and you can see that with the work he's done at Michigan State, and you're going to see it here now. So I think, like you mentioned, it's a great new chapter. It came at the perfect time, right near the end of the year, so you can roll into 2023 with, like, kind of a clean slate. Mm-hmm. It is a great time for the Suns and the Mercury. It's very, very happy to be a Suns fan right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to get us away from Robert Sarver.
Yes.
Some not great Suns news. However, Devin Booker is out for at least 4 weeks with a left groin strain. He will be reevaluated at that 4-week mark, but there's no guarantee that he will be back on the court at that point. This is a huge blow for the Suns, and I'm going to get into this a little bit later with my New Year's resolutions, but I think this injury could have been avoided if Devin Booker had some help, and in many ways, he has been carrying this team on his back and in many games. And I think, you know, it's just, you don't want to see Devin Booker go down. Devin Booker is the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because he went down during probably one of the toughest part of the Suns schedule. And, you know, they're barely hovering above 500 right now. And it's just, you hate to see it, Shawn.
Yeah. The good thing for the Suns, though, is I feel like there's so much parity in the Western Conference that if you make the playoffs, regardless of your seed, you're going to have a chance to make a finals run. Yeah. So as long as they're still in a playoff spot when he comes back, like, I think the Suns are still in good shape. But yeah, it does suck. The team was struggling a little bit, and you would like to have your best player on the court to kind of work out of that, and they don't have that now. But I think the Suns are okay. I don't think this is, like, going to ruin their season. Yeah. As long as Devin Booker comes back, they take as long as he needs, and he comes back 100%, and it doesn't, like, get re-aggravated or anything like that. I think the Suns will be fine.
Yeah, it's just a bummer. Like, the injury bug has plagued the Suns all year this year, and I was hoping that it would avoid Devin Booker at all costs, but it caught up to him, and unfortunately, he will be missing at least 4 weeks. But like you said, They are in an okay position right now. I think the front office has a lot of decisions that they need to make, and they need to make them sooner rather than later. But we'll get into that a little bit later with our New Year's resolutions. The last thing that we need to talk about, I'm so sad about this one, kind of bittersweet. Yeah. Dalton Varsho, the man with many tools, has been traded to the Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel. I feel so many mixed emotions about this. Like, I understand they have way too many left-handed hitters in their left-handed hitting outfielders in their lineup. So I get it, but it just sucks because he has all the tools.
He does have all the tools.
Great human being. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this.
Gold Glove candidate in outfield and utility. It sucks a little bit, right? Like, he was not the outfielder that I wanted to get rid of. I was more of a Jake McCarthy guy, but when you consider the return, I don't think you can be that upset about it. One of the best catching prospects in recent history, and Lourdes Gurriel, who is a serviceable outfielder. I think it's a solid addition. Both guys that I got to watch, well, no, not Gabby, but Lourdes Gurriel, a guy that I got to watch a lot play in AAA baseball in Buffalo. Okay. I'm a huge fan of him. I think the Diamondbacks won this trade. They had a surplus. They sold off some of that surplus, and they got a huge position of need at catcher. It's a great sign for the D-backs, in my opinion. I am ecstatic.
Yeah, they definitely addressed one of the most concerning positions that they had in their infield, which was the catching position. Yep. So I'm glad that they took care of that. But I don't know. I become so emotionally attached to these young guys that come up through the system. And Varsho was just one of those special players that, you could trust to put him wherever you want. He had so many great plays in the outfield this year. He was serviceable in many different spots. So a little bit of a bummer, but I understand the move. And I'm happy that the D-backs did address that catching position, because that was obviously one that I was concerned about. Yeah. So that's kind of a recap of everything going on in the Arizona sports scene as of late. Yep. We are about to get into our 2023 New Year's resolutions and put 2022 to bed officially. But Shawn, before we do that, we got to talk about our guys at the Underdog Fantasy app, because boy, do we love the Underdog Fantasy app. Not only does it make watching sports more enjoyable, but it also allows you to win some money while you're doing it. And tell me, Shawn, have you won any money recently?
I have. I've been on a burner recently. I've been making a good amount of money on the Coyotes because they've won 3 straight games. Somehow, I don't know, and the Buffalo Sabres, but I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, my fantasy season, we don't got to get into details, did not end on a high note. It didn't go well. I may or may not have talked a lot of shit to somebody else that's on the show.
Tell me what happened, Shawn. Tell the people what happened with your fantasy football season.
So Makayla's team,
be very careful about what you say, Shawn.
Compared to the other teams in the playoffs, very low scoring. I may or may not have used the fraud word to refer to her and her team on a number of occasions.
Despite the fact that I was a third-ranked team in the league.
Despite while having 200 less points scored than me and the
Doesn't matter.
People.
Third-ranked team.
Called her fraud on a number of occasions, and I specifically asked for the smoke in the first round of the playoffs. I said I kind of wanted to lose in the last week of the regular season, so I would play Mac. It's exactly what happened. And then what happened? Kirk Cousins completed the greatest comeback in NFL history. George Kittle had the best game he's had all year, and I got blown out. And I'm no longer in the playoffs.
Not just defeated, blown out.
I got blown out.
I had over 200 fantasy points.
Yeah, I am going to shift my focus and my energy to the daily fantasy on Underdog, where I've been a little more successful. Some pick'ems. Side note, take Carol Vamelka's higher on saves anytime that you get. Take, Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson higher on shots any chance you get. It's fun. I'm better at the daily stuff, at pick'ems, than I am year-long fantasy. So if you're in the same boat as me, check out Underdog Fantasy. And it's pretty easy to get started. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app, sign up with promo code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, or as Shane likes to say, 100 bones. The exchange rate is 1-to-1. But yeah, check out Underdog Fantasy.
We love Underdog. All right, Shawn, before we finally put 2022 to rest, I have to ask what your favorite sports moment from 2022 is. But before you answer me, I want to ask our viewers and the people in our lovely comments, what was your favorite sports moment from 2022? Drop it in the comments right now. We will read them out before we do our 2023 New Year's resolutions. I would love to know what your favorite sports moment was. Shawn, tell me what yours is.
There's a handful that I could choose from, but for me, it's got to be the first ASU game at the Mullet. That being there was awesome, and it's one of those sports moments where you're like, this has to have been scripted, right? Like Josh Jones scoring the first ever goal at Mullet Arena, like it was just
thinking about it.
it was such an electric experience, and a bunch of us were there to experience it. So experiencing it with not just my coworkers but my friends was an amazing experience that I'm going to remember well past this year and well past for the rest of my life. I'm going to remember it. So it was an amazing experience. It was a landmark moment in ASU athletics and Arizona athletics and hockey, to be honest. So it was awesome to be just kind of a small part of it. And then we got to talk to Josh afterwards. So the whole night was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I unfortunately couldn't be there because I was sick, but I'm sure that it was absolutely electric. I can't even imagine that. And like you mentioned too, I think it was important for the school and the community, but I think it has an even larger effect on just hockey being a viable sport here in the desert, absolutely, which to me is the most important thing because hockey belongs in Arizona. So Great pick. I love that. I think my favorite sports moment from 2022, if you know me, you know I'm a baseball girl through and through. And it might seem insignificant as a moment in the overall grand scheme of things, but to be honest, there wasn't a lot of good things to pick from. It was Seth Beer's opening day walk-off. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, the Diamondbacks had such a shit season before that. It was so bad. It was so sad. And then to have opening day, a walk-off by Seth Beer, like the whole crowd was losing their mind. They were chanting beer, beer, beer. Like Derek and I were broadcasting on the steps of a restaurant, like right outside of Chase Field. And everyone walking by was so excited. Yeah. It was so fun. And it was a great sports atmosphere to be a part of. And for me, it was just like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh my gosh, the Diamondbacks, like, as bad and as tragic as last season was, like there are going to be good things to celebrate and fun moments that you can be a part of as a fan, which I always appreciate. So the Seth Beer walk-off on opening day was definitely my favorite one. So that's what I'm going to pick. Let's see the comments. Charles Weddle Pike saying Zach Gallen's scoreless streak. Oh, another Diamondbacks one. That was good. We got Diamondbacks fans in the comments today.
The D-backs whole season was it for me. Like, honorable mention, I had talked to you about it before, Alec Thomas's first career home run.
Yeah.
We were there. I had bet on it. And not only did I bet on it, he walked up, A Millie by Lil Wayne, his walk-up song that came up, my first words, oh, this is going to be a home run. Lo and behold, right to left field. I won some money on it. I got to experience. First time I think I've ever seen someone's first career home run. It was an awesome moment. I fell in love with the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. I am this close to swearing off the narcotic that is the Boston Red Sox and fully committing to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I love to hear it.
So the Diamondbacks in general made my year.
I love to hear that. We love the baby backs. Speaking of the baby backs, Chris Melton saying call-ups. Yeah, they were next level this year. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just seems like the Diamondbacks were calling up stud after stud after stud.
And they're going to do it again this year.
Because their farm system is loaded. And they, like, when they called them up, they seemed to have the most impactful moments like right after that. It was wild. It was so cool to watch. There was just like there's some magic surrounding the baby backs. And I really feel like this team is going to be good in the coming years. So that was really cool to see. Daniel saying Herm getting canned and Dillingham getting the head coach job. That was almost my pick too, to be honest, Daniel. That press conference with Dilly was so cool to watch, just because I have grown so apathetic towards Arizona State and their athletic programs because they're so mediocre. They keep disappointing me. So to see someone like Kenny come in and have such passion and emotion around this program, like, really invigorated my love of Arizona State, which I almost thought was impossible to do because I'd grown so apathetic. But it was really cool to see Kenny get that job and how much he appreciated it and how excited he is about this program.
Yeah, I do have to say, I know we're both Sun Devils, but seeing U of A win the Pac-12 championship in Vegas.
Yes, that was another one on my list.
A pretty cool moment. I cannot lie. It was awesome. At least if ASU wasn't going to win it, it came to Arizona.
Yeah, as much as it kills me to say that.
Ben Mathurin.
I know.
I could say it because he's not a Wildcat anymore. love that man.
Yeah.
He is so good at basketball. Watching him live was so much fun.
Yeah, it was my first Pac-12 tournament that I got to cover, and it was really cool being there in Vegas with obviously all of you guys, but also just being so close to action and watching Arizona like win at the end of it was really cool.
And I mean, the first 95% of ASU's game was electric. Yeah, the end was terrible.
The end was horrible.
But up until that point, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. We're just going to pretend that we didn't talk about anything that was positive with the Arizona Wildcats. Jacob behind the Mac, Father Overlord Jacob. Do you have a great moment from 2022 that you want to share with us?
Oof. I mean, it was probably anything D-backs related.
Yeah,
that's my first thought. But yeah,
the Dalton Varsho trade had me hyped.
The Dalton Varsho trade had us running around the office. Like, am I sad that Dalton Varsho is gone? Yeah, but now there is 2 legit Rookie of the Year candidates.
Yeah.
For this team.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, insane. I think that this team could be the next Arizona team to win a championship.
Oh,
I've said that on this show on a number of occasions. I'm right there with you.
I would have called you crazy, but considering how the Cardinals and the Suns seasons have gone, I might retract that statement. That's a good one. Obviously, we're Diamondbacks lovers on the show, so they deserve their flowers. They've been through a lot. All right, so let's put 2022 to bed. The year is almost over. We are, 3 days? 1 day. Oh, 1 day away from the new year.
You get 3, no, 2, no, 1.
What? 1 day away from the new year. And I am stoked to head into 2023 with some good energy. So, Shawn, let's go through what our New Year's resolutions are for every team in the Valley. And I think we should probably start with the Arizona Cardinals because they've been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So, Shawn, start us off. What would your New Year's resolution be for the Arizona Cardinals?
Listen, I know Cardinals fans, there's a lot of Cardinals fans that might not like to hear this.
Oh, boy.
My New Year's resolution for the Cardinals is to plan for the future at quarterback. And I'm not saying get rid of Kyler Murray, but we know already that Kyler is not going to start the year. And when you look at the situation that the Cardinals were in this year after Kyler got hurt, they had a backup in Colt McCoy who can't stay healthy. They had a backup in Trace McSorley who was terrible. And now we have David Blah or whatever his name is starting for the Cardinals.
Blau.
Like, Blau, yeah. Who cares?
Blah.
Who? No, David Blah. Exactly. It's David Blah. He like, they have to be prepared for like, they have to have a contingency plan at quarterback. Yeah. And I'm not saying you go and you draft a quarterback in the first round. I think that's ridiculous. Kyler Murray is still the quarterback of the future, in my opinion. But at the very least, you get to the 3rd round, 4th round, draft a quarterback who you might be able to develop into something and you at least have there for the start of the season. And if in the situation Kyler might go down. Or you go and you sign somebody like Johnny had mentioned to me, Jameis Winston or David Carr is probably, he's going to be a starter somewhere, but you go get another quarterback just in case. I think you need to be prepared for that. So my New Year's resolution for the Cardinals is just to be prepared. Just
they can have Russell Wilson if they want him.
I wouldn't, though. I wouldn't want him. I would not want him, especially as a backup.
No, I think that's fair. I think, like you mentioned, Kyler Murray, I think he might even be out longer than we were anticipating because not only does he have the ACL tear, he also has something wrong with his meniscus as well that we found out about. So it's going to be a little bit of a rough journey for Kyler Murray to make it back to the field. And I think having a plan at quarterback is a very reasonable New Year's resolution. My resolution for the Cardinals is to freaking find a new head coach and a new GM. For the love of God. I'm tired of Cliff Kingsbury. Like, hashtag fire Cliff. I'm on that train so hard. Like, I've seen enough. I'm just done with it. Like, no more Cliff Kingsbury. No more Steve Keim. For the love of God.
You got to fire Keim first.
Blow it up. Like, JJ Watt's retiring. Half of this roster is injured. There are going to be so many moving pieces that come with, like, all that's going on with this team. Like, just blow it up. Just blow it up. I think Charles Well Pike said it in the, time to blow it up. Yeah. I agree. I think it's time for the Cardinals to take this as an opportunity to have a clean slate. Rumors that have been surrounding, and they are rumors, they are unconfirmed, reported, hearsay, whatever, but the rumors that are surrounding Steve Keim are really bad. Yeah. And if any of them come to light to be true, there's no way in the Lord's green earth he should ever be a general manager here or anywhere else.
He probably shouldn't already.
Yeah, we hear. That's a discussion for another time. We're way past Steve Keim's prime. But yeah, it's time to move on. It's time to blow it up. It's time to start over with a clean slate. do whatever it takes to get Sean Payton in. I don't care. Just get anyone else besides Cliff Kingsbury. Honestly, I'm so tired of that man being our head coach. And we just need to move on. And it's time for the Cardinals to start fresh and just build from the ground up. And for the love of God, like, please just get us on the right path and pick the right GM and the right head coach for this organization.
Yeah, I just need whoever the new GM is to just actually successfully draft somebody in the first round. Just, please don't mess that up.
Yes, that would be wonderful. You did mention the backup, Colt McCoy. He will be playing. Allegedly, he has cleared concussion protocol. Okay. So we will see him on the field, which, I mean, do we even watch the games anymore? Are you watching the games at this point?
No.
Yeah, no, I've given up. Punted on the season.
I have no interest.
So at least we don't have to suffer through another McSorley game. What is up with Cardinals quarterbacks' last names? McSorley and Blah?
And McCoy, yeah, they do have an interesting. The quarterback room is just fascinating to me. The diversity of characters.
It's bizarre.
It's quite bizarre.
All right, let's move on to the Phoenix Suns because I think they are the next most noteworthy team in this valley right now with everything going on with them. So, Shawn, what is your New Year's resolution for the Phoenix Suns?
Okay, another one. Suns fans might not want to hear this.
Are you on the warpath this morning?
A little bit. Y'all need to be prepared to blow this shit up.
That's not going to go over well.
I know it's not going to go over well. But if you get to the playoffs again and you shit the bed again, you can't. The definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
You can't punt on the season now.
No, not now. No. But I'm saying in 2023, you need to be prepared. If the season does not go well and you shit the bed in the playoffs again, you need to be prepared to make radical changes. I'm not saying trade Devin Booker or anything crazy like that, but like you need to be prepared to restart a little bit. Yeah. Like it's kind of like the Cardinals. Like you were close, you had your opportunity, but it's clear that window has passed. And I'm not the window for the Suns hasn't passed at this moment. But again, if you get eliminated in embarrassing fashion by the Mavericks again, you can't just run out the same team next year and expect the same thing, something different to happen. So you just have to be prepared. So like the Cardinals. I'm not saying you got to go crazy right now, but you got to be prepared for the future, and you got to be prepared to change directions a little bit. So that's all I'm saying for the Suns.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. Actually, I think if for whatever reason this year doesn't work out for the Suns like we're all hoping it will, and you know what I mean when I say that, I think at that point you got to take this new owner. Like you have to blow it up and you have to retool because obviously the pieces that we have here aren't going to get us to where we need to go. So I think, blowing it up aside from trading Devin Booker is reasonable. Like, I think that's a thing that the Suns do have to think about because we can't keep getting to a point just to be disappointed. Like, it has to go further than where we've gotten it so far. Like, there has to be a title somewhere in this craziness.
Second round exits year after year, you might as well just not make the playoffs. I have no interest in it.
Yeah, so I definitely agree. I think that's reasonable that if this year doesn't go the way that we're all hoping it does, to letting go and blowing it up and retooling, I think is definitely reasonable. Before we get to that point, though, my New Year's resolution for the Suns, I'm still hinging hope. I still have hope inside of me, which is probably foolish as an Arizona sports fan because my hope will just be crushed in a couple of months. But I have a strong affinity for the Phoenix Suns. I don't know what it is. I love my Colorado sports teams with the Suns. That's the one that I defect on, and I am a Suns girl. So for me, my New Year's resolution is they need to make a trade impactful enough to make a finals run and to freaking win a championship.
Yeah.
I know it might seem crazy right now because the team is in shambles injuries wise. Cam Payne, Cam Johnson, Devin Booker, like I get it. It's a mess right now and it's looking pretty bleak to some Suns fans. I think the window for their championship hasn't slammed shut yet. No. I think there is a reasonable shot that they have at it when all those guys hopefully come back. I do think, though, that if you are looking at a Kyle Kuzma type trade, Cam Johnson is a piece that's going to have to go along with Jay Crowder because of the salary cap issue and the fact that they have literally no salary space. So obviously trading a piece away like that is going to suck just because I love the guys that are on the team now. But, obviously there are ideal situations like a DeMar DeRozan or Siakam, which are probably very big long shots. Yeah. So Kyle Kuzma is a little bit more realistic, but I think it's hard too because you mentioned earlier in the show the parity in the NBA this year. This year is And I actually love it. I'm for this.
This is a great year in the NBA.
I have checked out. I used to check out of the NBA and not even bother following it all because I always knew who was going to win or at least be in the championship game at the end of the year every single year before the season even started. So the fact that we have so much parity in the NBA, I actually really enjoy it. And I've checked back into being an NBA fan because of it. But it also makes it hard because then you have less teams willing to blow up or give away big pieces because there's so much parity, especially at this point in the season and also, probably going into January as well. So like it's hard because you don't have a clear cut picture of the pieces that you can pull from other teams because there's so much parity. So you're going to have to pull from teams like Toronto or like maybe the Jazz who are a little further out of the playoff picture and who are willing to trade away those pieces. But if you do pick up like a Kyle Kuzma, obviously you're willing to let go of like a Cam Johnson. I am frustrated that Jay Crowder is still on this roster. I will say that.
So am I.
I wish that they would have figured that out way before this point.
But on the flip side of that, at least you know that this team is not at full strength yet. Like they're going to hopefully improve it in some way.
Yeah.
So it's going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, they have to. I don't think that they can. Looking at where this team is right now, I don't think there's any possible way that you can look at this roster and say, we're fine. We're not changing anything. We're not making any additions. At least, bigger additions. Like I think they have to make a big move. Like they have to bring someone in here that is going to make a difference for this team because they can't do it right now. I don't have faith in this roster as it stands to make it to the finals and win a championship because that's what everybody said last year. Everyone's like, this is it. This is the team. The Suns are going to be great. They don't need to do anything. Like this is awesome. Like the Suns are it. They're not it. They're not it. They had their chance to prove it to us last year that this was the roster that could do it and they didn't do it. Yep. So I think they have to make a big move. They have to bring in someone like a Kyle Kuzma. Like I said, there are other names out there that I think would be more impactful, but being realistic, especially with the salary cap issue that this team is facing, like they, especially with the power forward, I don't know. They just need to fix it and they need to make a move because the team as it stands right now is not in good shape physically and like figuratively.
Maybe this is why I love the Cardinals 0-2, the D-backs and the Coyotes so much because I got here and they were bad. So I didn't have any expectations for them. So anytime they do something fun, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. With the Suns and the Cardinals, I got here and I was like, okay, these are Super Bowl contenders. And then they let me down and I get frustrated with them. I don't want that to happen anymore. I'm tired of being frustrated with the Suns.
Yeah, me too.
So we'll see, but hopefully they figure it out.
Jan Paul Edward DDO saying we need a mover. It's slim pickings. It really is slim pickings. Like I was saying, like the parity in the NBA this year has made it so difficult to really like focus in on a target that is realistic for this team because I think there are a lot of teams that are like holding their cards close to their chest because they think that they still have a shot at it because look at how they performed so far this season. And then he also said, anyone want crazy Draymond on the team? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want him punching any of my sweet baby
punch Makayla in the face.
Yeah, sweet baby Cam in the face. No, thank you. Draymond can stay far, far, far away for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just hoping that the Suns prove me hopefully right and that my hope in this team is not crushed and destroyed into little tiny pieces and they do something to fix the debacle of what's happening right now. But the other issue too that I would want to mention is Matt Ishbia hasn't fully taken control of the team yet. Like the board of governors still has to vote. And until that happens, Robert Sarver has control over signing off on trades. And I'm not saying that he would, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little jaded about this whole situation and tried to throw this team under the bus, which kind of just adds like another layer of complexity to this entire situation that really makes me uneasy because I don't trust Sarver as far as I can throw him and I can't throw him at all. So it's just a crazy situation.
It is.
But what's not so crazy is making money off of the NBA because it's super easy to do on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Shawn.
Betting on the Suns has been a little frustrating. So I've kind of stayed away from the Suns. You can fade the Suns, but I like betting on the Clippers a lot because I think they're a scrappy team. But whether you want to bet on or against the Suns, do it on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app now and sign up with code PHNX. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code PHNX only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
I freaking love betting on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It makes watching sports just so much more
I made
fun.
$50 on the Yotes last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I just bet their money line. I put $15 on the money line, got paid out like 51 and some change or something like that. It was a good night. I love betting on the Coyotes. I've been making some good money.
That surprises me because I have 2 rules in sports betting, and it's 3. Don't bet on the Coyotes, don't bet on anything ASU, and don't bet on the Rockies or the D-backs because you just never know what's going to happen.
I will never bet. I will never bet on ASU. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's too frustrating for me. D-backs, I love doing it because as we talked about, I think on this show before, I like going to D-backs games by myself and just kind of watching. Betting on it keeps me engaged, and I actually did pretty good on the D-backs. I made some money on the D-backs, thanks in large part to Father Overlord Jacob. He would give me some home run bets, and they hit more often than they didn't, which is crazy because there's no reason that should have happened. And hockey, I normally don't bet on the Yotes, but they were playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, and as you may or may not know, the Yotes own Toronto and the Toronto Maple Leafs, so I was confident they were going to win.
Yes, the Arizona Coyotes do, in fact, own the Toronto Maple Leafs. And speaking of the Coyotes, Shawn, hit me with your 2023 New Year's resolution for the Arizona Coyotes.
Okay, the warpath continues because I don't think Coyotes fans are going to like... Well, some of them might. I feel like it's kind of mixed, but my New Year's resolution for the Arizona Coyotes is to say fuck the tank.
Oh my God,
and let the cards fall
I hate this.
Where they may. Listen,
I hate this.
At this point, they're not going to finish last in the NHL. It's not going to happen.
I hate this.
The Blackhawks are just so abysmal, and they're also going to trade their stars. They're going to trade Patrick Kane. They're going to trade Jonathan Toews. They're bad. The Coyotes are not catching them. They're currently in 27th in the NHL. I think as of last night, they're closer to the playoffs than they were.
This is what we've got. So right now, the Coyotes have 31 points so far this season. They're tied with the Flyers. In last place is the Blackhawks with 20. Blue Jackets with 22, Ducks with 24, Sharks with 29. So there are 4 teams below them in the standings, and they're tied with the Flyers with 31 points.
Yeah, it's just like as it is right now, they are not going to finish last. They're not going to finish last. They might not even finish second last.
Jonathan?
I know. But part of my reason for saying this is look at the Coyotes. Look at their history. We have no reason to believe that even if they finish last in the NHL, they're going to get the first overall. Exactly. At this point, and some of the members of the Coyotes chat last night kind of referenced this, but I think the hockey gods might look favorably on the Coyotes for kind of tanking the right way and still playing good and playing hard hockey. And I mean, the reality is they're going to trade players at the trade deadline. They're going to get worse. So I'm not saying like go trade for fucking Austin Matthews right now and try and win a Stanley Cup. That's not happening. But I'm just saying, don't enjoy the wins. Have fun with it. Let the cards fall where they may, and maybe the hockey gods will look on us favorably for doing that as opposed to trying to be the worst team in the NHL.
I love your optimism, but I strongly disagree.
That's fair. I understand it.
My New Year's resolution for the Coyotes in 2023 is #shit the Bedard.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Stop winning games. I know I just talked about how much I literally loved watching you all decimate the Toronto Maple Leafs, which I did.
What'd they do the game before that, though?
They beat
They decimated your Colorado Avalanche.
I love watching you guys defeat teams that are not the Colorado Avalanche. But, can we stop it? Please, please, please. Okay, we're done. You guys have owned the Maple Leafs this year. I'm so proud of you. We are tanking for the rest of the season because Connor Bedard is him. He is him.
He is him.
Connor
He's going
Bedard
crazy
is
right now.
Unbelievable. He just tied the Canadian record for most goals ever at the World Juniors with 14 goals after his 2-goal and 6-point performance against Austria. Are we kidding? Are we kidding?
And the worst part of it is you keep hearing Bedard to Gunther in the World Juniors, and there's a chance you could see that in the Coyotes.
Coyotes are 1 for 2 right now on getting the great Canadians out of Canada. Can we go 2 for 2 and shit the Bedard, please?
Yeah.
Please.
Listen.
If we don't get, listen.
I want to get Connor Bedard, but I was also talking about this with P last night. Look, he's a generational franchise-changing talent. Look at the other generational franchise-changing talents over the last 10 years. What have any of them done? Jack Eichel hasn't done anything. Connor McDavid hasn't done anything. Austin Matthews hasn't done anything other than get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs and lose to the Coyotes every single time. Getting Bedard is not a guarantee. And even if you do get Bedard, winning is not a guarantee. So I feel like you just kind of have to...
I disagree. Whatever you have to do to get Bedard on this fucking roster, you do it.
I want him on the roster. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you kind of got to let these things play out. But for the pro tank crowd, they do have the potential to end this year / start the next year on a good note, because they do have to play the two of the last 3 Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning on New Year's Eve in Tampa Bay at 3 p.m. That is a game they could lose, and that might be a good way to start the year for the tank. So
Listen, it's time to tank. Hashtag time to tank. It's time to do it now. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care how many lottery balls you have to like jank, like whatever.
But I'm saying if you can rig the lottery, win all the games you want, and then go rig the lottery. That's the prime situation. Uncle Gary needs to come through for us. He needs to come through for us and rig the election, rig the lottery, and let the Coyotes win.
Come on,
and
Uncle
also
Gary.
give us the first overall pick.
I just
give
want
it to the Blackhawks.
Can you blame a girl for wanting Connor Bedard?
No, but also, hey, Adam Fantilli is pretty damn good too. So second place win suck on.
All right, let's round out our New Year's resolutions with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who we've been speaking so fondly of this entire podcast, which kind of makes my heart a little happy. Shawn, what is your New Year's resolution for the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I don't think I'm going to upset anyone with this one, minus me maybe being a little overzealous.
Okay, good. We're ending on a good note.
Make the playoffs, baby. This Arizona Diamondbacks, you are a MLB wildcard team. Listen, I'm not necessarily saying it's realistic. No, I think it is realistic. I think you look where this team was last year. They've gotten better so far. If they can address some of the issues in the bullpen, which was obviously the biggest problem, and they can somehow figure out a way to never let Madison Bumgarner touch a baseball in a Diamondbacks uniform again. If they can figure those two things out, this is a good team. I was talking about it with Jacob before the show. And Jacob mentioned it. They have multiple Rookie of the Year candidates. I think Torrey is a Manager of the Year candidate. Zach Gallen is a definitive Cy Young candidate if he can even come close to what he did last year. This team is good, man. Yeah. They're a good team. Torrey's a great manager, in my opinion. The team's getting better. They're super fun. I think this could be a playoff team. The Padres consistently shit the bed. They just kind of choke. The Dodgers got worse. I'm not saying that the D-backs are going to compete with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers got worse. The Giants didn't get any better despite their best efforts, and the Rockies are dog shit. Like, if there's an opportunity for the Diamondbacks. I think they can make the playoffs.
Don't underestimate the fact that the schedule changes this year, and so you see
they played the Dodgers
less amount of your
division rivals.
That is a good point.
And there is the Shawn series. The Red Sox do come into town. Diamondbacks win that.
I'm banning you from speaking of that baseball team on this podcast.
The Red Sox? Oh, yeah.
The Fire Torrey crowd is about to be real silent this year.
They're going to be
sick to their stomach.
Listen, I have always loved Torrey. I think he's a phenomenal guy. Phenomenal manager, and I think the Fire Torrey crowd is out of their mind.
There is a possibility. I have to go look this up. There's a possibility that he managed Lourdes Gurriel in Buffalo. Because I know he was a manager for the... I don't, and not that really means anything. I don't think Lourdes Gurriel is going to come out and be an MVP candidate because of it. But I think
that's a good connection to have, though.
It's interesting. I love Torrey. I love
Torrey.
I love the Diamondbacks. I do think there is a legitimate possibility for them to make the playoffs.
I also love your resolution. I agree. I think there is a very reasonable chance they make the playoffs, considering all the factors that you mentioned, and just the fact that, like, if they can get this bullpen to get it together, for the love of God, and they can get Madison Bumgarner to retire and go be a rodeo star,
literally anything, fly into the sun.
Like, put Madison Bumgarner in the bullpen at this point. I don't care.
Dude,
like.
Honestly,
that would be very anti-productive in fixing the bullpen, but I don't care. Just stop him from pitching.
Sometimes it's what people need. What's his name? Mariano Rivera started as a starter, and they ended up being the greatest closer of all time.
God, typically, Mad Bum's good in like the first 3 innings, and then he trails off at that point.
Yeah, throw him out for an inning. Maybe he's the answer to the closer.
Stop
because they don't have one.
That's bad. That's asking for doom.
Can't get worse.
That's asking for doom.
Yeah, you think Mark Melancon is going to figure it out? I mean, dude, if Mark Melancon figures it out,
didn't they just trade for a closer, a pitcher?
They did. They signed a pitcher, but I don't think he was a closer.
So they signed Miguel Castro. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be the closer. I just keeping a really close eye on Shintaro Fujinami out of Japan.
There you go.
He throws like 100 miles an hour and has a nasty splitter, and they are very much in the running for him.
Yeah, as a former Red Sox fan,
no, stop talking about that team.
I said former. I wish the Diamondbacks had gone and got Kenley Jensen instead of the Sox. I
also don't trust Kenley Jensen.
Again, it's better than what they have going on now.
Yeah, well, I agree.
But we would be better.
They can make the playoffs if they can figure out their tragic bullpen, and they can figure out how to stop Madison Bumgarner from pitching a baseball.
Warming up the bullpen cart.
Yeah, I sure am. That thing is going to be active if they don't do it. I'll do it for them. My New Year's resolution for the Diamondbacks is to stay the course.
Absolutely.
Do not, under any circumstance, and I'm talking to you, Mike Hazen, do a dumbass move like you've done in the past and take all of the amazing assets that you've built and trade them away for a ridiculous thing like a Zach Greinke. That contract is too big. A Madison Bumgarner, I don't care. Don't do it. Do not, under any circumstance, I swear to all things high and holy, do not do it.
I'm right there with you.
Stay the course. Commit to this rebuild that you have done and you have masterfully put together. I'm giving you credit for that because the farm system looks incredible. The talent that is here is because of your efforts. So kudos to you. So stay the freaking course. Do not, under any circumstance, trade away any of the talent that we have. Yeah. The timeline is not ready for that. We are not at the point where we need to bring in a big ace pitcher or a big bat in the lineup. Just have faith in the farm system that you've built and this homegrown talent and leave it.
Yeah.
And let it develop.
Let
and do not trade it away.
Let the plants grow. Let them germinate. Yeah, no, I mean, John Paul Alvarado said it. Like, the Diamondbacks are a farm team, though. We get talent and trade them to win somewhere else. And that's been the case in the past.
It has. Absolutely,
but, I mean,
it has.
You look at where they are now. They developed a bunch of talent. They're still on the team. They had a surplus in outfield that we talked about. They traded it, but they traded it for a tremendous prospect and more depth in the outfield.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just giving him away. So I think it is different now. But I'm with you. They have to prove that it's different, and they have to stay the course.
They have to stay the course. They have to believe in what they've done so far, and they have to keep going. We are not at the point yet where it's time to bring in big heavy hitter and big names.
Yeah, depending on how this year goes, we might be there next year.
Maybe, yes,
but
possibly.
We're not there right now.
Absolutely, I could see us being there next year, but I think we need one more year.
One more
of marination,
at least.
Letting the talent marinate.
Yeah, that's how you get the good flavor in there. You let it smoke for a little bit, and then you bring it out.
Gotta let the talent marinate, okay? We can't get rid of the talent. You can't take the talent off the cook too early, okay? Just let it cook.
Let it cook.
Which I think that they will do. I think Mike Hazen has been burned by the decisions of the past. He is haunted by Zach Greinke. He is haunted by Madison Bumgarner. So I think we're on the same page now. He doesn't want to be having any more demons around. So let's stay the course, the Diamondbacks. We are almost there. This year is going to be fun. And then past this year, it's going to be really fun. So just stay with us. Stay with it. Yeah. All right, Shawn. Do you have any other New Year's resolutions that you want to share, personal or otherwise?
I personally am not a big New Year's resolution guy, but I do need to get my ass in the gym. I know it's basic.
Oh, that is very basic.
But I need. Look, this is cute. Everything neck down, maybe not. You know, there's a little squishy here, and I know that's for some people, but I'm trying to.
Hey, dad pods are in.
That is true. That's true.
I love that. I, for the first time in my life, completed all of my year goals in 2022. I completed all of them. So I'm very proud of myself. I feel realistic goal setting is something that helped me accomplish that. So I'm going to set some more goals in 2023, and hopefully I can do the same thing that I did in 2022 because it was actually really rewarding completing all of those goals that I set out for myself.
I believe
I've never done it before. So I'm excited for that. Do you have any New Year's Eve plans? Are you going anywhere? Are you doing anything fun?
I have a friend coming in town from Vegas. Him and his girlfriend. I don't know. It may ruin my New Year's Eve.
Oh, no.
Because she wants to do stuff that I do not want to do.
Oh, no.
So we'll see how this goes.
Oh, boy.
I may have to, dabble in the OGs so I can kind of enjoy myself regardless of the situation.
You read my mind.
We'll see.
I'm going to be enjoying some OGs for New Year's as well because why not? It's New Year's. You might as well have fun, right?
Yeah. Some people, in Spain, they eat grapes. Some people cheers the champagne.
In Arizona, we eat OGs
at midnight. Orange creamsicle. What better way to start the year with some orange creamsicle?
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you. Orange creamsicle, OGs, elite,
money,
unmatched, so good. And then after that, I'm going to take sleepy time OGs and pass out and sleep the day away on the first. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that because my goals start on the first. But if you want to participate in the OG's fun like the rest of us on New Year's, head to your local dispensary where you cannot find them. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy. Pick up that orange creamsicle flavor because it is to die for. Shawn. Oh, Connor in the comments saying, good job, Mac. Thank you. I'm proud of myself for accomplishing my goals.
I'm proud of you too.
Oh, thanks, guys. It's being so nice to me today. It's because it's my first podcast back in a little bit. Love to hear it. Well, I had a great time, Shawn. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did. This is fun.
Let's do this again next week, yeah?
No, I will be gone.
Oh, well, the week after that.
Yeah, the week after that. I'll be.
You just shut it the fuck down. He was like, no.
I mean,
you just told me, for the enjoyment.
I didn't want the people to think they're going to be here next week and then be disappointed by whoever's replacing me. Just 2 weeks from now. I got to leave people waiting.
We love a realistic
What
king.
airline are you taking, Shawn?
Not Southwest.
That's a good choice.
American on the way there, Delta on the way back.
I'm going to be watching his kitty while he's gone.
That is true, yeah.
So excited. I freaking love cats. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Phoenix Sports Podcast. You all are the absolute best. I hope you have a safe New Year's Eve celebration and you are having a wonderful New Year's and a blessed 2023 to you all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week at 12:30. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.